Bigotry seems emboldened. Our politics seems more vulnerable to conspiracy theories and outright fabrication.
Everyone here today is brought together by the same shared and timeless values. We cherish the sacred dignity of every human life. Celebrate our heroes, and we salute every American who wears the uniform. We respect our great American flag.
The talented Tim.
It's the one and only Mr. Royale. Let me qualify myself by saying I'm a former United States Marine, accomplished musician, multimedia recording artist, and it's conversating with the people is something that just helped me create more art. And this is just a new form of art by, having these conversations and, with the people. And because sometimes, as an artist, you come across different ideas and different ways to say the same message. As a musician, I put it in the words. As a painter and an illustrator, I put it in the paintings. I put it in the artwork. So, that was a message even like Khalid and a few other people were saying, like, if you want to have these conversations, put it in everything that you do. Movies already do stuff like have their messages in their movies, but they just codify it in a way where their guys know. So I'm hoping that, I keep it simple enough and I speak the language that the people can comprehend. I'm not trying to overcomplicate it. I know I'm in competition with professional liars who read scripts all day. You got what I'm saying? So when you're speaking from the heart and you're talking about something that you should be qualified to speak about, I personally feel like you shouldn't really have to read from a script. So that's just me saying that. To say this, I want to talk about the national anthem. The national anthem. Okay, whether it's NFL, NBA, whatever the games, that we're talking about. When you hear the commissioner and all of the fans and, people get up in an uproar about how a private company, conduct their business. Because that's all it is. That's all these companies, that's all these brands are private companies conducting public business, right? But it's private owned companies. So really they do whatever they want. But they need the people to function inside and come to their games.
So the viewers have more power than they think.
Absolutely.
Always. Viewers? Yeah. The people always have more power.
They need the public to come inside. So the public actually has a say by sometimes showing up, by sometimes not showing up. All right? So, initially when the Kaepernick stuff was going on, the stands were still crowded. The games were still played, black, white, everybody was on the field still playing, whether it's football, baseball, basketball, everything. It still functioned as if nothing was ever said about anything. You got what I'm saying? So now, the simple solution, without even getting all into everything else that I say, the simple solution is to use Lift Every Voice and Sing as the American national anthem. The U.S. has a national anthem. The American national anthem is Lift Every Voice and Sing. It's already registered in Congress, right? It's something that, I had to sing it in school, along with the other national anthem. We had to sing all of them back to back, right? Now, as a player, anybody who played sports or traveled the world or whatever the case is, with military, this is something that we had to do, sing the anthem and stand for it, take the cap off and put it on our heart, and et cetera, et cetera. You know what I'm saying? And you see how they did Trump.
For the last quarter, you had 3%.
3-2.
And actually 3-2, they adjusted it upward. What a nice sound that is.
Are they playing that for you or for me? They're playing that in honor of his ratings. Did you see how good his ratings? He's beating everybody.
I think they'll be higher tonight. I'm just guessing.
So the fact is that we're really rocking.
Somebody on his team should have informed him to stop, you know, but instead they tried to play him. That means everybody knows what's going on, and they're purposely putting him in a position where you can feel like, he doesn't know what's going on. Most people wouldn't know when a bugle sounds off what to do either, because none of the audience stopped. Everybody continued to function. So they're purposely doing this, you know, so when he speaks about real things, nobody says anything. When he speaks, you know, when they play him and, you know, it becomes a circus act in the media. Now, the national anthem, by saying the American national anthem should be Lift Every Voice and Sing, right, is simply saying like, okay, as a sports person, as a military person, we travel the world, you travel all over the place, and if somebody is even a dignitary from another country, another continent, they play their national anthem. So whether they're Russian, Chinese, Canadian, from wherever, they play their national anthem, and people actually, you know, stand up and show respect for their national anthem. You don't even know what's the story behind half of these words that's being sang in a foreign language, but you stand up and show respect for it. So the U.S. is like, well, show respect for ours too, right? So as a majority in the games, in public life, all over the planet, wherever you want to go, there was a national anthem for Americans that was created, right? Back in the early 1900s. Lift every voice and sing. And this one verse to the piece of the chorus, one verse to the piece of the chorus is not like stop singing yours. It's just saying add this one to the arsenal of getting teams hyped up, getting the military hyped up, etc., to go do whatever, to go do battle, because lift every voice and sing, the way it ends, you know, till victory is won.
Sing a song full of faith that God has taught us. Sing a song full of hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun, let us march on to victory is won.
So, till victory is won is how the song ends, you know. And if you're doing battle, you know, on the field, you know, in the battlefield, you know, that's a mindset that you actually want to have. So it's fair. It's fair. That's fair to add, opposed to saying take yours down. Add this, because, you know, if you'll sing another nationality, another person's national anthem, you know, you make time. If Canadians are not in the building and it's just a US on US game, you got time to sing it. If it's like, okay, US, China, okay, then you got to sing Chinese national anthem, and you got to sing, you know, the American national anthem, or, you know, if you choose the US national anthem, that's what it is. But either way, there's enough time to sing the American national anthem, lift every voice and sing. There's time for that. Now, you know, we could get into the history of the national anthem. The history of the national anthem, you think the Johnson brothers. The Johnson brothers created this, created these words. You got James Johnson and John Johnson created these words. They were brothers out in Florida that, you know, was a principal to a school. Booker T. Washington, who's a giant in the community, just a giant on the planet, just a giant of a man, you know, who with the STEM program comes from Booker T. So many different programs and so many different mindsets of the community and working together and hands, you know, getting your hands dirty and building from the ground up. All of these mindsets come from him. Presidents and all type of dignitaries look to him for advice and for conversations, and everybody knows that Booker T was a giant. He was visiting the Johnsons, one of the schools that the Johnson was a principal at. He visits there. Before he visits there, they hype. Everybody's like, Booker T's coming. He write out these words. He comes, you know, and they say these words, you know, when he arrives, the brother pins music to the words. It becomes Lift Every Voice and Sing. Okay, fast forward from Bobby Brown, Melba Moore, a whole list of celebrities, Stevie Wonder, Al Green. You got everybody singing Lift Every Voice and Sing from the 80s on. By the 90s, it was already put into Congress, you know, it was already registered in Congress. So it's there, okay? Now let's go back a little bit, 1930 something, 1920, 19, you know, pardon me on my dates. Okay, so we just gonna go back. So after the brothers created this Lift Every Voice and Sing, you know what happens? You know what happens? There's a fair in New York City. So we're gonna go from Florida up to New York. There's a fair in New York City. A woman, an artist by the name of Augusta Savage, is asked to create a sculpture for this song, okay? And the sculpture that she created was about 15 feet, 16 feet sculpture. And it actually, you'll see that the first character of the sculpture that's created into a harp, the first character is kneeling, the rest are standing. So Lift Every Voice and Sing is where you get kneeling from. The kneeling comes from Lift Every Voice and Sing, right? Now, unfortunately, they destroyed that statue, but the other statues, she made miniatures that stayed around, and we can get into Augusta Savage's story, but that is why I feel Lift Every Voice and Sing should be added to any gaming or military as long as there's Americans there. Thank you. My name is Mr. Royale. Subscribe to the channel, like, share this story, comment, tell me if you think I'm crazy, tell me if you think I'm right, tell me why, and add to it. You got what I'm saying? Add to it. And if you feel I'm right, then get to it. Put some pressure. You know, get this thing trending and start the conversation on your platforms. And, you know, just come on, just give me some credit though, baby. Peace.
And the United States has everything under control. They think.